welcome back to the good old IESF. Have some more matches for you today, a little bit earlier than usual. Have Rada joining me once again, at least for this first series, and then I believe I'll be disappearing, and our good friend Otto will be filling in for me for series number 2.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to get into another day of Dota. Excited to get to reunite with my good friend Otto. We casted together on the SADPC, so gonna be some friends reuniting in the second series, and some new friends casting this first series. Trev, as I'm excited to get into it. You know, we discussed it a little bit before we launched. I think this series should be Bulgaria favored. But North Macedonia, they were able to make a series out of it yesterday, so maybe Azerbaijan will be able to do the same and pull off a big upset. And speaking of Azerbaijan, we're going to go ahead and show you the roster, as it is going to be Floney, Sneesnall, Nizam, Loom, and Merlin rounding out that side.
And we've seen some of these players that we would want to flag as nobodies just due to the fact they've had no professional experience, cause some high pressure, not necessarily win series, but certainly make the games look fairly competitive. So there's always that chance to cook the upset on the card. That's always worth keeping that in mind, that there's a chance for some shocking surprises to slide in, and maybe Azerbaijan shall be the one to be able to push it over the line.
Yeah, and I mean, look, like, there's these guys, they are professional players. I would imagine they're just they've not played in enough tournaments to go from a red link to a blue link to show me what kind of tier they're in, stuff like that. I'm a fellow red linker on Liquipedia, so I understand the pain and the struggle to trying to get to the point where you are a blue linker. But you know, so it could be just something along those lines. They could be younger players. As yeah, and we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna cut to and show you guys the Bulgarian side as they will be fielding it today.
Yeah, worth noting that in. Got the lovely BCM, Little Pleb, Mastermind, La Jolla, and Failits that have been absolutely amazing so far in both draft and individual performances. Of course, almost had a little bit of an upset, at least bringing it to game 3 just the other day. But a quick second game against North Macedonia will result in a quick 3-0.
Caught me drinking. Yep, it's early. I had to get my coffee in, boys.
Got to get hydrated this morning. Yeah,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, we do have the leaderboard to cut to.
And that leaderboard will be pretty useful because that'll catch up just on any potential matches we've missed. We can see Serbia's confirmed the win in their group. For the most part, being able to get the 2 wins against Albania and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Israel still tied 1-0 with Ukraine. So a little bit of flux there. Bulgaria getting a win recently against North Macedonia, so it'll give them the favor in Group D. And if they can take this win against Azerbaijan, should be able to allow them to win the group. Meanwhile, Moldova still currently in first, being able to defeat Turkey, but losing to Georgia, I would presume. So not entirely secure just yet in their group stage. Could be brought into 1 or 2 of those juicy tiebreakers for us to cover.
Ooh, I love tiebreaker Dota. That's some of the best Dota in the world, man. I love tiebreaker Dota. I love relegation Dota. I love it when they have to bring out all the tricks and it's do or die, win or go home type events. That's when it gets down to the best. It gets to the nitty gritty, and yeah, hopefully we will get to see some of that tiebreaker type stuff coming our way. We'll have to see kind of as the field of play progresses. You know, we have no control over such things. Of course, we would love to see it. I would have loved to see a game number 3 in the last 2 days. I feel like both days we've had nothing but 2-0s. So hopefully today will grant my wish, and we will get a game 3 today. That is my hope. That is if we get a game number 3, that will be a win for the day. But now we have a draft to cut to, boys and girls. So it's enough time. We've thought about it. We've expressed our opinions. Now we get to see it in real time.
And an interesting first round from Bulgaria. It looks like they've been doing some research, deciding to adapt to what Azerbaijan has been playing, because that's the only reason I can think of to even target banning the Ninx. This is, I would say, a pretty strong hero, maybe slept on at moment, but has just not the highest spotlight when you have these other heroes like Enchantress, Techies. There's a lot of stronger choices you can go with, and seeing the Coddle also removed, this is definitely targeted bans rather than the more traditional that we would have seen the other day with things like the Beastmaster and the Broodmother. So definitely taking a completely different approach today, this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they're eyeing that Broodmother pickup for themselves. I don't think the bans necessarily suggest that, but yeah, maybe that's the reason why they're leaving it in the pool. Nope, they're just going to go for the Undying.
Once again, they're going to... Seems like they have an idea of exactly what they want to play against, willing to keep things like this Broodmother in the pool. The assumption being they're not expecting anyone on Azerbaijan to take the completely wild move and play it. So taking, in theory, a little bit of a risk, but I have a feeling that's a very educated guess that will reward them with exactly what they wish. Of Azerbaijan trying to figure out their first pick, likely to be some sort of support to try to respond to this Undying.
Yeah, they've got to show 2 here. So maybe they'll show 5-3. They could show 4-5. I highly doubt they show 1 or 2 here. But if they're feeling something is incredibly strong, they might go ahead and lock it in. But yeah, that's my expectation.
Going with the good old Space Cow. A reliable choice. Maybe an Underlord with it. That, or do you want to bring out something like the Pugna, if that's something Azerbaijan are willing to play? Pugna always great for giving that save.
I just played a game today where it was we did Spiritbreaker Darkseer, and that was pretty fun. So maybe that's something that's they'll think of. Ion Shell into the charge, lots of damage.
And hard counter a lot of these, well, hard carries by creating an illusion of them. And able to pump out even more damage than they could dream of. Because you want to focus on the actual heroes.
Hit a 5-man back wall that game. Felt so damn good. It felt so good. But they're going to get that 8-kick Medusa.
Yeah, able to tuck that in. And the first thing they ban is that Darkseer we were talking about. Now they can remove the big concerning counters like that AM soon after.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, what we've been seeing AM bans, Darkseer bans, Naga Siren bans. I think maybe we saw 1 PL ban, but I think that came in the 3rd phase.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes that you have to ban at the moment to deal with this Medusa. But 1 or 2 of them, the Bat Rider and the Wind Ranger, that we've seen be able to give you this handy damage to completely chip down and eradicate this Medusa in most situations, has already been taken out by Azerbaijan themselves. So it means this Medusa is left even more open on the table. The Lina feels like one of those few ranged cores that can answer against the Medusa at the moment. So seeing Azerbaijan removing her has me a little bit more worried, considering Bulgaria will be able to get rid of all those diffusal melee and range cores like the Terrorblade and the AM that are willing to go man-to-man with the Medusa. options for
10
Azerbaijan
seconds remaining.
very restrictive. They could go for the PL, but I feel like this is almost sort of a
5
bait
seconds
pick in this
remaining.
situation because you can immediately go for the Underlord to counter it.
Yeah, I mean they do get 18 and 24 now, so they will get to see a lot more of Bulgaria's draft before they have to lock in what their big cores are going to be. But so I'm expecting they'll show their offlaner next for Azerbaijan, save 18 and 24 for the carry and the mid laner. But that because I mean they're already showing the safe lane duo. Like we know this Undying Medusa is going to go into the safe lane. So
And it's already a good adaptation to the
5
fact that
seconds
they
remaining.
ban things like this Coddle and this Nyx Assassin that are amazing for burning mana that Azerbaijan enjoy playing. So considering that, they're like, oh, we'll just pick up the Medusa with the Undying. Works perfectly. And considering the bans that have been thrown on the table, it's even more convenient. And I feel like Azerbaijan are not providing any answers to it. If they can get that Pugna with the Vino, I think it would be a decent enough magic damage to give them a fair shot.
yeah, run the Pugna in a core roll, run around, do crazy things, Nether Blast towers, life drain a bunch of heroes, make them sad.
It'd be a way to
Really
deal with
thinking
the
about
Undying
this.
at least.
They're down to 20 seconds of extra time.
Radiant team pick.
I mean, as they should. It's a hard situation, and they're going to go ahead and get that Snapfire. Adds a little bit of mystery, but that means that Bulgaria are able to get both the Skywrath Mage and the Beastmaster. So you basically have 3 of the overpowered heroes of the patch. Medusa not as overpowered as she used to be, but with most of her bans taken out of the pool. The Juggernaut, we've seen one of the few options that can beat this Medusa in a game, but it has to be very hard fought, and that was with a Wind Ranger, and I think there was also even some other strong universal hero to help
10
support in the
seconds
side
remaining.
lane, like the Timbersaw.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
So
Gonna
far
ban
from
out
a
the Tango.
solution that's going to easily deal with Bulgaria.
Yeah, maybe he goes back in time and he goes a like diff manta build or something like that. I would be surprised, but maybe
I mean,
maybe
he has
feels
to.
like that's the way to
Radiant
go.
team ban.
He could just look to just keep pace with the Medusa, I guess, in that sense. Because I mean, as we discussed, like Medusa wants to be out ahead with the split shot. She's supposed to farm faster than everybody
10
else.
seconds remaining.
So if he's able to keep pace with her, then in that way
5
he is
seconds
winning.
remaining.
At least that would be the hope, but I don't... I mean, eventually the Snapfire will be some pretty decent long-range damage, but this is going to
Mhm.
take the later stages, and as much as this Medusa is known as a late-game carry, she honestly has a similar strength through most of the stages of the game. Really hits that complete early peak at around level 15, 16. Can take an advantage against most of these cores, I would say. Especially when you have the fast pace, the healing of the Undying, the Beastmaster, the lockdown and the nuke with the Beastmaster's Roar and the Skywrath Mage likely to build an Atos. Now
Yeah, I
most
mean, this-
mids being banned out.
Yeah, we're down to the mid. We're down to the mid matchup, right? I unless they're gonna do something snazzy and put the Snapfire in the mid roll, that would take me by surprise. I mean, I guess they could do it because they're gonna see the Bulgarian mid first, so they have that decision to be made. But yeah, I think it's more than likely that it's gonna be the Snapfire Spirit
10
Breaker lane
seconds
and the
remaining.
off lane. With the Vino Jug lane up
5
top,
seconds
kind of like we
remaining.
discussed yesterday. Gale into spin, good combo. Should be able to cut down the Skywrath Mage. But they are going to be
Team
pressured.
pick.
That lane is going to be pretty seriously pressured by this Beastmaster, by the Skywrath Mage. Both of them pumping out their spells constantly, Wild Axe stacks. And they're going to go for one of those universal heroes you love so much and pick up the Mirana.
an interesting way to respond. End up going with the, I would assume, a 4.
10
So we got a
seconds remaining.
Skywrath mid going on.
No, I think it's mid Marana.
5 seconds
I think it's
remaining.
mid Marana. Yeah, that's also would make sense considering the universal heroes as mentioned. I don't know how it does against a Snapfire, or in this case, turns out a Storm Spirit. The
Ooh,
View
this could be
Spirit's
a
not
storm
banned.
game.
This is normally a rather good Storm game. I'm a little bit concerned that Mastermind will be able to get a good performance on the Beastmaster, though. We have the
Is Mastermind
BCM
a
Marana.
stand-in? Is Mastermind a stand-in? I thought it was mind control.
I believe that would be the case. Perhaps OG has some sort of match or other thing going on.
Interesting. But yeah, like I thought, it's gonna be the BZM mid Marana. Still have Lil Pleb on the safe lane Medusa. So even if they don't have mind control and this is a stand-in helping them out today, they still do have some star-studded power in good positions. So yeah, and I don't know though. This looks like a very good Storm game. This looks like a very good Storm game. If the Storm's
Yeah.
able to snowball out of lane, I think Azerbaijan might be able to catch them with their pants down and take game number 1. But
They have a game in about 3 hours against Old G, so he's likely focused more on that matchup for the DPC and just trying to do some prep with his main team for that rather than be with the Bulgarian squad, forcing that stand-in situation for the moment. It would appear. Fair enough. It feels pretty average or maybe a slight favor towards Bulgaria, but with the talent on the side, I'm willing to trust their execution to get this through. I don't think the Storm Spirit is going to be able to pump out enough damage to shut down this Medusa. As handy as this Jug can be in the matchup.
yeah, I think like the Storm, she'll be able to kill like pretty much, or he'll be able to kill pretty much everybody else, and then they'll just be able to kind of, for lack of better words, gangbang the Medusa, and by that kind of death by 1,000 cuts. But once she gets big enough, that will not last forever. Once she gets big enough, like the Scotty damage and stuff like that, the split attack multiplier, she hits that 25. It's gonna feel a whole lot different when you're trying to surround and bring down this Medusa. But
I think the key detail is going to be willing to get that Stone Gaze level early and being able to use it to freely escape as necessary.
right. Yeah, Stone
It's going
Gaze
to make the timing very difficult for the Storm to be able to disable her while not getting stunned in the process, trying to attempt these early ganks. Which should be the main goal.
So we go 3 for 1 on bounties.
Also, the Marana ult escape's going to be a bit on the problematic side.
Yeah, you would like to think they'll be carrying detection on them. They're supposed to be. But the Banana Man, he's a little bit slow. So if we're gonna, maybe the Barathrum is gonna be the one who has to carry the dust. He'll be up in the business.
I mean, even if they do, perhaps there is the problem that they do have to worry about sacrificing item slots, sacrificing gold, just to get this opportunity to deal with this, in most situations, realistically, a tanky core. Got an interesting surprise. Usually we'd have the Vino as a pseudo CM, or just a better CM at the moment
Yeah.
with the Juggernaut, but they're instead going to rely on the Snapfire Scatterblast with the Cookie. Maybe wanting a little bit more defensive escape in the lane, just in case.
So who's their core down bottom? Is it the Venomancer? Neither
It
of
could
them
be
have a
the
last
Spirit
hit so
Breaker.
far.
Yeah, it
Okay,
seems
so
like
it
the
looks like the
focus is the
Venos.
Veno.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd want to have the focus on the Spirit Breaker instead, but then again, maybe valuing just trying to get that raw poison DPS from getting gold and XP on the Veno,
Denied.
rather than caring about the bashing and the disables on the Spirit Breaker, feeling like he's still going to have that same effectiveness in the 4 roll.
Yeah, I know that he's kind of meta right now to be played in the off lane, and oh, Storm Spirit, Fairy Fire, gonna keep himself alive. And I know that there was a stretch where he was played in the mid lane, stuff like that. I just feel like Spirit Breaker played anywhere other than the roaming position just kind of feels weird because like it's what he wants to do. He wants to roam. So like, oh, potential first blood here. And it goes to Loom.
Last of my kind, but first.
An important one to be able to secure, try to get that bonus gold so this Jug can try to play fast. Classic Vanguard Arcane for the Beastmaster. The nerfs may have killed something like an Octarine Rush, but this Beastmaster doesn't really care for that. Wants to go for something like an Ags early on. Not really affected by that Vanguard Rush. The Cookie saving the dodge of the Blood Grenade. Healing Ward with the Salve. Be able to get the Juggernaut back up to full. Looks like he's going for the standard power treads early. Has that wand in his possession. And as much as the Storm's trying to cause harassment, it seems like Moran is comfortable with this mid matchup. Especially when you have BZM in the mid lane.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how much, because, you know, again, I don't really know mid lane matchups all that well. How much of this is just skill versus the way that the laning matchup is supposed to go. But a little bit surprised to see that kill coming through. I mean, the Mirana, she kind of throws wet noodles early into the game, and the Storm Spirit has good starting armor. So a little bit surprised to see that solo kill happening, but...
I imagine a bit of it will be the same theory and practice as the Ember, where you can have a rough early, but still be able to get those ganks off. Once he hits that level 6, gets that decent bit of damage in to try to create those ganks in space. However, we won't be able to create those ganks in space in the same way as that Spirit Breaker. Getting harassed down by the Undying, and this Moran is still able to get a secured bottle charge. Going for the Bracer on the Universal route. Get some of that extra strength.
Unfortunately, this Storm Spirit, he doesn't necessarily work the same way as the Juggernaut potentially going to go down here. And he does with the Wild Axes. That's going to be a double
the
kill.
Snapfire Doom too. Oh, that's tragic. Being able to get the 2 kills towards this Beastmaster early, the Snapfire trying to profit off of the wand. No way for that to escape her out of this. And of course, the Beastmaster with the counteraction. Magic Wand, really the bread and butter item of this patch. Amazing little stun to tuck in, and the Tombstone Zombies will help finish off the Storm, and now the Spirit Breaker attempting to help out, instead becoming a victim of the Blood Grenade and the Zombies. As this mid tower is getting eradicated a little bit on the side, as this Mirana goes back to spawn to get some regen in.
Is all alone in the world, being attacked.
Taking some chip damage early here, 5 minutes into the game. As this Juggernaut, another Blood Grenade, forced to spin and run away. But he's not going to get enough distance. Wild Axes. Oof. Just able to
barely
get back
enough
under the tower.
distance. Yeah, and the Spirit Breaker's trying to rotate to charge in, get a little bit of a surprise on this Beastmaster. But now he can back away, utilize those wand charges as necessary. Additional Blood Grenades hit onto the Beastmaster to slow him, but he's just too tanky, even without any of the sustain built just yet. The Skywrath able to save with the silence.
Oh, that poor Jugger. We've all been there. You're trying to play the edge. You're trying to play the edge of the map, playing on the edge of the knife. And he just stepped up, ate a nuke to the face from the Skywrath Mage, and died immediately. Wasn't able to contribute to that at all.
Getting that blade fully put in, unable to escape it, and this Medusa able to freely have all the farm and success. Winning her lane comfortably, pushing the creep wave past the tier 1 tower entirely.
This is looking like a Radaveno
trying to
game.
help out. Yeah, but because the Snapfire isn't in this off lane, this Undying's free to get this Tombstone off. Sure, it might be punished later on, but for now, this Undying's able to have all that early game impact, and this tier 1 tower's paying for it. Now towards bottom, this is a dominant laning phase from Bulgaria, and we've seen time and time again with how these matches end up. Very rare do the comebacks turn around.
Yeah, they are very comfortably in the lead here. Up 3k, 7 minutes into the game. They were up 4k just like a minute ago. As it looks like Fatalist is going to fall here. He stole the XP rune. Going to get off decays. Oh my goodness. I thought for a second he was going to get away, and that would have been an absolute disaster. But now the Veno has retaken superiority over this Undying. Hopefully he'll get a little bit of space to get some farm in, start to catch up. As this Venomancer, man, he does not like playing from behind.
Yeah, and that's going to be even more difficult, considering that both those knowledge runes were taken away by the side of Bulgaria. The Undying able to take it away before going down. If it was something like a deny, maybe not so great. But considering the fact that it was just completely taken away, gets that bonus XP to the 2 lowest net worth on Bulgaria. It's going to accelerate this pace for this Undying and this Skywrath to continue wrapping around, going for these ganks and harassment. BZM even denying the DD from the Spirit Breaker picking it up. Would really help him allow those bashes to get some proper damage in.
Oh, Beastmaster DC. Sag. Beastmaster, he's having a good time though. Top of the net worth, 4,200 gold, has the Vanguard, has the Arcane Boots. The world is his oyster at this point in time. Does he want to go Helm of the Dominator and just push and shove these towers in? Does he want to go for the Aghanim Scepter build? It's kind of up to him at this point in time. He is sitting pretty, he's controlling his destiny, and yeah, the world, like I said, is absolutely his oyster.
Yeah. The nice thing is with the map extensions, the odds are already slowly chipping away all the way to 75% in favor of Bulgaria. Of course, the stand-in on this Beastmaster, a little bit of technical issues, trying to get him involved. But so far, in a beautiful start, and with the Beastmaster that's likely soon to be beating on his drums, that's going to keep up the aggression and the pace from the side of Bulgaria. This has been a fantastic showing to start from them. Decent answers overall, though I think they haven't applied them in the correct lanes to address the issue. The Snapfire are still going for the standard QW build. No shots to be able to actually deny that Tombstone that's been problematic in securing 3 or 4, probably half of these early game kills for the side of Bulgaria.
Yeah. I mean, I wish they would have just put the Snapfire in the off lane, put the Venomancer 5, put the Spirit Breaker in the 4. I think that this laning phase would have looked a good bit better for them. And instead, they just have this really, really sad Venomancer. The mid lane hasn't really been going the way that I think they were expecting it to. Definitely not the way they were hoping it to. BZM is out comfortably ahead of the Storm Spirit as well. As I think we are going to be cutting back to the game pretty soon here, guys. Hang in here with us, as there is just a slight pause, technical malfunctions. We had a disconnection from Mastermind. But yeah, man. There already questions are being asked of Azerbaijan. It's just whether or not they're going to be able to answer him, and I'm worried because the Storm Spirit he doesn't necessarily function the same way that the Ember Spirit does, because the Ember Spirit he's able to do a lot of poke and prod, right, with slight chains combos. It's very non-committal. When the Storm Spirit goes in, he ball lightnings in, he vortexes a hero, he throws out his remnant, he tries to burst that hero, and then hopes he has enough mana to get back out of dodge. And that's when you're behind, you don't necessarily have those resources that you're looking for. You don't have the burst damage that you would have if you were ahead, and so he's not able to have that same impact that the Ember Spirit is when he doesn't have the HP, or when he doesn't have a great game. as they try to
Exactly the
make
same
it go.
issue. A single snake plus the tombstone. Now this Jug, he's going to be able to use the twin gate to be able to get out of there. The Spirit Breaker, however, will not be nearly as fortunate as the zombies hunt him down, even before the Mystic Snake can get on over. You can see the Beastmaster was trying to hunt for the Juggernaut on the side with communication from a team. The rotation's solid, not quick enough to be able to pick off the Jug. But the level of instant nuke, they can pick anyone they want to across the map. And it feels like the side of Azerbaijan, they had a decent draft to try to find answers against the Medusa, but they're not adapting their play style and their itemization towards it.
No, we do now have a point in Lil Shredder, so that's nice. Oh, the cookie doesn't land. That's sad. These supports, the XP difference is a huge deal right now as well. I don't know if Misu can show levels, to the people at home, but the level disparity is not in a good place. Charging out, gonna maybe try to get this kill onto the Sky Rat, so that's a good start. Unfortunately, Storm doesn't get the kill.
How low can you get?
Without that kill obtained, the Boars are going to help. And right at this 10-minute mark, Beastmaster taking the first of these towers for the side of Bulgaria. Likely able to find a good timing to take all these tier 1s. This Juggernaut deciding to go for the pretty standard Battle Fury.
Yep.
Fair way to have the farming and the speed against something like the Medusa.
Yeah, and I like that. I know we discussed the Diffusal Blade, but like his team is in no way, shape, or form in a position to fight right now. So like they're just gonna have to try to hold on and hope to get to the other side of this power spike, of this death ball. And it's gonna be a long game. It's a long road ahead for them. But yeah, hopefully this Juggernaut's able to find some space, able to find some farm, and they're able to get some little picks across the map to help make his job a little bit easier.
But not only is this Mirana tanky, having the Bracer with one of these crowns, able to pump out so much stats and damage, has the bottle rune of the shield being popped just now, has even the good old rain droplets that will provide that protection against the bash and that extra little bit of magic damage, whether it's from the Spirit Breaker or the Storm.
Allies disappear.
No way for them to find that early success. A first ult going through, as this Mirana is going to get these ancient stacks, the Undying, getting a little bit of AoE damage to help support kindly on the side. No attempt able to be successful to gank the Jug just yet, but provides the information. Now a smoke coming out onto the Snapfire and Storm to maybe provide some information, but everyone on the side of Bulgaria towards this top side of the map would be surprised to see any form of gank initiation come through.
Yeah, just smoking to an area, hoping to establish a safe place to farm, probably put some deep vision up, trying to establish some sort of trench for them to play inside, hopefully a nice little high ground area that they can hang out around in. But yeah, I mean, first things first, we got to take down this tower, achieve some sort of possession over these twin gates, at least level it out. Oh, Primal Roar Juggernaut, no!
No way to spin out of that one. Been using that Blade Fury, I'm pretty sure, to get the farming in, as he doesn't have that Blade Fury just yet. So now it is going to be a 13-minute tier 2 melted down. And they could even protect this safe lane towards bottom for the side of Bulgaria if they wish. But just the Medusa Undying, enough Azerbaijan concern. They want to go in on this Medusa, but always catches with it. Most of the mana already restored from that Mystic Snake, so all that damage just pumped out from the Vino ends up fruitless, doing absolutely nothing at all.
Man, it's 11k net worth lead 13 minutes into this video game.
It have caught PCM a little bit out of position, but as much
Nope.
as Snapfire
Silent.
would normally
No mana.
preside the necessary lockdown, the leap allowing the escape, and even the Skywrath able to teleport out. Now the reinitiation from the rest of Bulgaria, catching Azerbaijan, spending all their spells, spending all their mana, caught completely out of position. Any Ancients completely removed. The Storm having to back away early on, and surprise BZM's here to get a little bit of a surprise gank in the stun. The double Star Storm with it, and Varana's gotten a beautiful gank off, and everything going the way of Bulgaria.
Man, they're just hemorrhaging right now. They are hemorrhaging, and they just cannot find a foothold in this game.
Looks like we got the full Helm of the Dominator on the Beastmaster.
Yep, so he decided to go Helm of the Overlord this game instead of Drums of Slum. He can always double back around and get the Drums of Slum afterwards. But, and I mean, you can see why, right? They're up 14k, 15 minutes into this game. They're totally in control. They just get this extra pushing power that'll help them push these higher of tier objectives down quicker, as we do have another team fight, another go.
These two Universal heroes will get an additional 20% bonus damage, as well as the Medusa, which might as well be Universal in terms of just that raw damage output. So a little bit terrifying, the Storm. Fortunate enough to have that escape to keep its life for now, but again, 16k net worth lead. The Skywrath setting up to try to lock down this Juggernaut, just able to get so much harassment in. Still no Battle Fury yet at the 15-minute mark. Understandable, but it's a big issue considering Bulgaria have everything they need to continue on fighting, especially with this early Undying, able to push that early momentum and extend it into the 16-minute mark. Another Tombstone, interestingly enough, using the heal on himself instead. But I suppose they don't need the zombies when they can just kill them outright.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see GG before 20 minutes.
It's already starting to feel that way. I mean, this is a 16-minute Rax. This might be GG as it is. There's no way for Azerbaijan to deal with all this early pressure. Just a little bit from the creeps, the Beastmaster with the Undying to support, steal all of that little bit of early strength that they have, completely decimating them, and they have the Skywrath ult fully on the side that they could use. And you can see, even with the single crown, GG's called, this Skywrath wasn't even feeling pressure to build an Atos. Not needing to buy anything, just this full momentum lineup. And that was the danger I was talking about with this Medusa. She's been significantly weakened on in this late game, and there's plenty of ways to hard counter her and beat her with a multitude of different heroes. However, even if that is the case, she's still just as strong early. The Mystic Snake is absolutely disgusting, and even with the cooldown reduction to put it in a more balanced state, its damage is still insane. It allows for so much heal for her to get these sustained fights in early, and there's just no way to fight against it.
Yeah, I don't understand what they were doing with that draft. I don't understand it. I don't understand the Veno into the Medusa as your core-to-core matchup in that off lane. I don't understand that. And anytime when the opposing carry is level 13 and your carry is level 8, level 9, you know that it's a bad time. You know that things have gone completely topsy-turvy, and the game is dire, to say the least.
Yeah, dire, but not in dire favor. Through the Radiant side, Bulgaria able to get that first win, able to comfortably secure it with not a single issue, completely destroying every single lane and outplaying Azerbaijan. We've been able to see some crafty upsets and impressive performances, but unfortunately, this is not looking to be one of them.
No. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the MVP of the game. Is it the Undying? No, they're giving it to BZM again. 6-0-6 on this Mirana. 10k net worth, 10k hero damage, 669 building damage, and 131 last hits to boot. BZM played a perfect game. Flawless victory, as they say.
Yeah, when net worth is almost as high as the damage done for you to win a game, you know that it was an absolute shellacking.
Yeah.
And this Mirana just having the raw damage, just getting that additional insult injury in, just getting that 15-minute gank in of what looked like was supposed to be an escape runaway move on that Storm Spirit, just has to sting that extra bit more, considering that they lost this game sub 20 minutes. I feel like this is the fastest game I've seen of the entire patch. Just a complete outplay.
Yeah, for me, I think it's definitely the fastest game that I've seen this patch. Like, yeah, that was incredible. That was just a masterclass, just complete and utter dominance. And now this is the point where you have to start worrying about the mental state of the Azerbaijani side. Are they going to be feeling like they are just utterly outclassed and they don't even deserve to be on the field to play anymore? Or are they going to just chalk it up to a bad draft? Maybe their ideas didn't play out the way that they thought they were going to, and so now we go back to the drawing board, we can come back out, and we actually have a chance. But for now, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick break, boys and girls. We will be right back with some more IESF Dota 2 action. Hang in there.
purpose, one dream, one rhythm, one step closer to glory. They say history remembers the winner. So who will be the ones writing the future? The halls of power call for their kings. The ones who won't back down. The ones who believed. The ones who knew that over 100 nations can't be wrong. Join the fight between August 24th and September 3rd as Yash becomes the world's esports capital.
In the heart of Yash, Romania, the world's top gamers have gathered for the ultimate showdown. IESF brings heart-stopping matches across a variety of gaming genres in an electrifying experience that celebrates the passion and dedication of esports athletes from around the globe. This is more than just a tournament. This is where champions are born, legends are made, and anything is possible. Get ready to witness the ultimate display of skill, strategy, and heart. The IESF World Esports Championship. It's about to take your breath away.
Do you think you've got what it takes? The challenge will be tougher than ever. In 2023, International Esports has a new home. Over 100 nations fighting for the championship in a celebration of everything that makes esports great. Who will rise up to the challenge? Who will be the world champion?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Had quite possibly the quickest game of the entire patch just unfold before our eyes. We're going quickly into game number 2. The exact same first fans from Bulgaria indicated not just how confident they are in their draft, but wanting to just counteract Azerbaijan that have removed this undying default that Bulgaria have gone with. So now, instantly bringing out this Pugna that we've seen in multiple tournaments just become ludicrously clutch and just single-handedly winning games for teams.
10
Yeah,
seconds.
a lot of utility that this hero can provide. Good tower push, able to help, does good magic burst damage as well as heals, able to decrepify enemies as well as allies to stop right clicks from coming in. It just really provides all sorts of utility. And they're going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of magic damage to help deal with this and pick up the Bat Rider.
A decent way to counter, at least potentially in the laning phase against the Pugna. Can be a decent answer if they want to play it even, dare say, as a 5, just at least early on to have the direct engagement against all that magical damage. It's a decent option to try to handle it.
Yep, now we're probably looking for a support here. Let's see, Rubik has been super popular. Let's see, Techies is banned, Undying is banned. Yeah, I think Rubik is the last of the super popular supports that we've seen. Witch Doctor is still in the pool. Shadow Demon is the other one. Shadow Demon is still in the pool as well.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how we've seen this juggernaut just consistently on the rise. Looked nice at the start of the patch, just having this creative, fast-paced build where you just try to really get that Battle Fury nice and early, utilizing someone like the Vino or the CM to be able to benefit off of that aggression. But when you had all these hard carries, it seemed to be wavering and not that impactful. However, it seems to be going back now, swinging the other way, where now that these very strong, overpowered carries have been removed, and a great hero to punish the decrep and just get that raw, quick nuke damage in before the true save from the life drain can come in. The lion with the finger, a decent way to counter. So a solid off lane and support.
Yeah, absolutely. I was honestly wondering if they weren't just going to go right back for the 8-pick Medusa. No reason to not. And instead they're going to go with this Beastmaster. Felt very good with the way that Mastermind played it in game number 1. As he controlled his lane. I mean, they were able to get a tier 2 tower, 8 minutes, 9 minutes into the game, I think, if I remember correctly. I could be off by a couple of minutes there. But it was incredibly, incredibly quick. The guy clearly knows what he's doing on this Beastmaster hero. So, yeah, just give it back to him, run it back.
However, there's plenty of ways to keep up this quick aggression. Say Azerbaijan worried about something like the Morphling. They can still fold back to this jug if they want to. But I could totally see them just embracing something completely different and wild, perhaps, like the Ursa. Something that can quickly get in all this chip damage in towers. Just really get this radical move going. Considering you already have this Pugna and Beastmaster, you can absolutely delete towers with no issue. Which is going to be a problem as Azerbaijan, once they have to go for their carry matchup, they might just get wave pushed to oblivion, and I don't know how they're supposed to answer it.
Yeah, definitely running the risk of getting deathballed again, man. They definitely are. As Bulgaria, they showed that they have it in the system to knock you out in 15, 20 minutes. And, yeah, I'm worried for Azerbaijan. I'm not gonna lie to you, buddy. I am concerned for him. They're gonna go ahead and pick up the Mars here, so I think that should mean that the Bat Rider's in the mid lane, Mars is gonna be in the off lane, unless they're taking a page out of South America's book and they're gonna flip that. But I would highly doubt it. That's my expectation. Off lane Mars, mid Bat Rider. Unless they're gonna do something spicy like a 4-position Bat Rider.
It could be a 4. I'm expecting they could flex this Bat as a 4 with just the main goal being to try to counteract that Pugna, but that's going to be a lot more difficult with a Nature's Prophet, which I feel like would normally be a little bit countered by both the Mars and Bat Rider, but oh, they're going for the full snowball push. The Enchantress with the Nature's Prophet. The amount of they're going for the mob control plus the tower damage. This is
trying to give us a 2-hour break before the next series, buddy.
They're going to make it 3 hours at this rate. This game might finish. They might be trying to make the game end even sooner than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, they feel like they're the superior side here. They're not going to muck about. They're not going to waste their time. They want to go ahead and secure this victory, secure the groups, and move on with their day. Maybe catch a nice, I mean, plenty of time for tea and biscuits, plenty of time to get a nice little lunch in, plenty of time to do plenty of stuff if they wrap this up here in another quick and orderly fashion. And they have the draft to do so.
And doing this without having mind control be a clutch god on something like an Enigma, not even required. Just going for a completely different strategy with the one-player replacement, and it's got me worried for Azerbaijan, because on paper, all these picks they're going for, beautiful counters, completely answers the Bulgaria draft in theory when it comes to the hero, the team fights. But they're not going to be team fighting, they're not going to be able to interact with the game, they're just going to have all their lanes shoved in and eradicated before they're even able to participate.
Blood banned, so Pango gets banned.
Certainly understandable. Another hero to provide that little bit of team fighting and also fits with that high aggression. Although what I would be expecting is something like the safe lane windrunner. It would in most situations feel a little bit wild, but considering the rest of this draft, what you have, sure, it sort of does the same job as the Nature's Prophet, but you're trying to get the same job done anyways.
5 seconds remain.
So you may as well. The other options that come to mind is something a little bit more cursed, something like the maybe the Bristleback. Some of this early mid lane offlaners that have turned into safe laners. The Wind Ranger getting bans, understandable, so they'll go for a more traditional monkey immediately. Considering the Naga's banned out, no real direct matchup I can think of to deal with the monkey in this scenario.
They get Ursa. Ursa's one of the few heroes that can hang and bang with Monkey King in the Wukong's command ring. Maybe has a decent enough lane against the Beastmaster. Another option I'm thinking of is a Drow Ranger, able to sit on the other side, plenty of noise happening, and they're gonna go with the Primal Beast. I don't understand what I'm seeing here. So it's a carry Void Spirit.
More ways to have the lane control. Does pretty well against Nature's Prophet. No way for him to escape with the trees. No way for anyone on Team Bulgaria to escape with the trees like they would like. I do think this is a very creative last pick to adjust to the pace and the momentum Bulgaria is trying to go for. Trying to go for one of these quick 15-minute closes in a little bit more of a cheesy fashion, I would say, in comparison to the first. Wrapping those meta heroes around in a very different style. So trying to respond to it in turn with something like the Primal Beast. There's no way for him to be countered. He doesn't care about getting decrept by the Pugna. The lockdown will just completely break anything in his path. No way to hold him back with the Nature's Prophet. The stun from the Boundless Strike's a mere inconvenience, and he can just keep pumping the damage. I think this is a brilliant pick to go for, especially considering its main strength is within the first 15-20 minutes of play. Problem is, if it has to go late, this Nature's Prophet can find players to isolate, easily get those pickoffs. This Monkey King scales to be useful all stages of the game. And even if they can find a way to have this draft successfully defend in the early game and not get completely run over, it still might be delaying the inevitable at this point. But if there is a way to find the answer, it is going to have to be this Void Spirit able to pump out as much damage as the carry Monkey King, which I'm very skeptical of. But we'll have to see. It's a decent idea.
I think it's going to be mid monkey with a carry Nature's Prophet if I saw the hero picks correctly. So that is something to keep in mind. Yeah. I don't know, man. I honestly, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're going to have a hard time dealing with the axe spam the Void Spirit is. He'll be able to dodge some of them, but yeah, I don't know. I've heard rumor of the carry Void Spirit. I've not seen it yet. Until I see it, I can't believe in it. So I'm gonna go with Bulgaria again here in game number 2.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The BZM Monkey King is what we're going to be seeing. I don't know how it's going to do getting the Wraith Band, the Power Treads, and the Orb of Corrosion, it would appear. We'll be able to have decent lockdown and slow to harass, so there's benefits to it against a Primal Beast. I feel like it's a mid lane that the Primal Beast should win out, but BCM also has the talent and experience to turn that the other way. Definitely not your typical mid matchup, I can say that for sure.
Just 30 seconds now.
Yeah. Just keep bringing fresh and exciting stuff our way, man. As we are gonna have a 5-man gang fest. This is gonna be first blood.
Confirmed, a nice pickoff on the Natures, trying to get that response and harassment. The Jingu Mastery obtained on the Monkey King. Now I have to give him a little bit of respect. But those early treants removed. The Jingu stacks to soon go away. Wisely, the Enchantress deciding to respect the Primal Beast. And everyone forgetting there's a rune in this bottom river. It is under Azerbaijan vision, so they'll know, but the Enchantress, being thorough, will be the one to grab it instead. And the Bar's getting a second kill on the Pugna, meanwhile. Good punishment with the spear.
Good start for Azerbaijan.
Not the sphere, but just the crit shield hit.
Yep, just God's rebuke, all it took.
So we're already seeing this monkey starting to be able to fully force out the primal. Got the 4 Jingu stacks. And the thing that makes the primal beast so absurd in this mid lane is the strength gain. I believe he is the best strength gain of any hero in the game. Fitting with his name. He's probably out of all of the new heroes added to Dota 2, he feels like the most Dota character. In the sense that they just, like, you know what? Let's just make a giant fictional dinosaur to just stomp on people. Just get that wild creativity.
I'm so glad that I'm finally casting with somebody that has an idea of biology. On the SADPC, I was in an engagement with Sherlock it went on for a tour and a half about whether or not Primal Beast is a dinosaur, or if he is a crocodile, or if he is a turtle. And I am team dinosaur all the way. I don't know how you could think any other way.
The alligator and turtle, of course, descending a little bit from that reptilian family, so...
And that's what I was about to say.
They're all dinosaurs.
Maybe by a slight technicality, I could give you a crocodile alligator, because they are pretty much dinosaurs. And I hadn't really thought of turtles in that sense, but they've not changed very much either over the course of time. But yeah, man. I'm glad that somebody finally knows that he's a gosh darn dinosaur.
Yeah,
but
I mean, when he's literally referred to as an ancient beast, he's called a primal beast. You know, it's indicative of that prehistoric period that is supposed to be just this long forgotten monstrosity that's just been brought to the forefront to just wreak havoc. And you know the ancients having their war have gotten bored when they decided the best heroic addition to their roster to mind control to fight for them is in fact just an old dinosaur in their memories, long gone.
You know, I was glad that it wasn't another weed hero, man. Like,
it seems like a pretty fair matchup to begin. Able to get in all of that early stomp damage with the Jingu allowing the lifesteal for the Monkey King to sustain. But also the Primal Beast able to tank all those right clicks.
Yeah, now the lane will kind of start to level out. He's level 3, he has 2 points in the trample. So he'll be able to burst down, level 4 even. So he has 2 points in the trample, so he'll be able to burst down the creep wave, onslaught his way back to safety. As we have a spear play going in, flame break pushback as well. Blood grenade, bye-bye Enchantress.
Yeah, the blood grenade being sent back. I mean, don't forget, not only does it cost HP, but it also gives you 50. So you pretty much go minus 125 in terms of health. So you need to be confident that you can attempt to go for that kill, or at least ensure that you can get that extra harassment in with it. So with how low the Enchantress was, it felt dangerous, but considering the respawn, able to rotate back to lane, the Enchantress will be able to get a nice little arrow in to get that counter punishment. The Bat Rider, meanwhile, knowing that his compatriot will soon go down, decides to head towards the mid lane instead to help a successful gank on this Monkey King. And now this Primal Beast can try to catch up to this Monkey King in last hits.
Yeah, he needed that. He needed that pretty seriously. Oh, Enchantress again. Gonna get caught out.
That is a massive secondary pick, and that's going to create the space. Mentioned the main thing for Bulgaria to go with is the sort of quick aggression and control. I don't expect them to truly, quote-unquote, activate with it until about the 8-9 minute mark. Once they have more levels on these good old sprout sapling trees to support the natures, the Enchantress enchant, able to get a decent level creep. and the Pugna able to really pump out that tower damage. But for now, all the mana drain causing issues, but the magical damage being the main thing in play. Fortunately enough, the Pugna cannot get the one cheeky depth strike to take out the Lion just yet. But that's not going to matter. BZM trying to use his best to out heal, even having the Enchantress and the Natures rotating in. It's still not enough. So much raw magical damage between the Primal and the Bat Rider, but trying to escape. Nice punishments. Requires 2 rotations, but the main benefit of that nature is the fact that he can freely teleport all around the map. Benefit off of that global presence.
Yep. Lil Pleb already off to a good start in the CS, and he played part in those 2 kills, so he's going to be the top of the net worth here. And it is coming up all Bulgaria here in the laning phase. It's not nearly as overwhelming as it was in game number 1, but game number 2, it is still favoring Bulgaria. At least Azerbaijan are able to make some plays. Another one, this Bat Rider, has been all over the map, leaving his fingerprints everywhere he goes.
And likewise, we're back to the same issue. It's a nice pick off on the Beastmaster. They're able to create the space, get these raw kills to ensure that Bulgaria aren't able to snowball this lead in the same way, which is great to know. But on the other side, you instead have this Monkey King having a little bit of support from the Enchantress, and with the double damage room, it looks like they'll completely destroy this tier 1 tower before the 7-minute mark. So now he can freely start to rotate to other lanes, almost finishing that Orb of Corrosion, looking to dive the tier 2. Well, he's thinking about it, but instead forcing the rotations from that line, and it means the Bat Rider's left exposed. The Nature's able to use that teleport to get a lovely pick-off. Dear God, that's a support Enchantress just completely eradicating the HP bar, forcing the Primal Beast to use the bottle just to have anything to work with. A nice dodge of the pounce, but the Lion surprise tentacles coming on out with the spike and a little bit of fist pounding from the Primal Beast, and she'll be sent on her way back to spawn.
Alright, so Primal 1, 1, and 3. He's been able to be a part of 4 of the 8 kills here. As, oh, maybe another go on the BZM, but now he has friends. They have friends this time.
And with the Roar level 6 to give that lockdown, no way to even attempt the escape. No need for anything else like the Decrypt. And now you have 2 sets of Treants plus the right click of the Natures. Able to pump out so much damage.
Forced a TP response from the Mars, so now he's just going to teleport himself back down bottom and push that wave instead. As they're really just playing this map very well, extending the lead. Now it's up to 3K here, 9 minutes into the game. And the Pugna going to still be able to secure this top tier 1 tower with that Nether Blast.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And even with all of these kills that helped create this early space, it's still being taken away from the side of Bulgaria. They're completely removing this map control. 2 of the 3 towers, I believe, taken, as this offlane tower is still safe for now. But also, what is it really going to give you anyways? Barely any gold, not that much benefit. You get all the map control just with these 2 towers they've already removed, as they're preparing to try to hunt down this Lion, getting him stuck in the tree line, clearing it out a bit with the whirling axes. Got a bit of a pounding in, the double combo, but the Natures will be forced to teleport to try to help out his Monkey King, but it's a little bit too little too late, and this Enchantress provides no save or escape. Pugna, however, a little bit of a different story. If it wasn't for the Bat Rider able to get off the lasso, but still not the kill. The Firefly still being able to get that tree break and that punishment, but fortunately enough for the Bat Rider, the uphill mischance will save his life, and the Beast will empower his way through and buck it on out. A little bit of a miss on the charge on the way out, but we'll just giggle it away.
Yeah. Amused roar, indeed. So he's going to look to build up the Kaya first, and then on his way to the Sanjin Kaya. Meanwhile, we have a three-man smoke gang happening, moving down towards the bottom, trying to, again, bring down this BZM hero.
Demons, you set your sights pretty low, Lion.
Interesting drop of the good old lore line on the Lion by one of the keepers of the forbidden knowledge in the void. The void spirit as the enchantress once again gets hunted down. Illusion Rune able to get that regen in the bottle that the primal beast will be able to stay alive. And that's one of the nice things about him, this high mobility, the dinosaur stomping around, no easy way to keep him in place. The roar, the only thing really able to do so. As this early pressure to attempts on the tier 2, not causing much. 850 gold gained by both sides. No strong swing due to the bounty runes being on top of that. Same with the knowledge runes, I would imagine, that we haven't been able to see just yet. Wisdom, I believe they're referred to.
Yes.
Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Wait up.
Alice Enchantress really trying to pump out this damage, relying on the vision of this hawk. One of the underrated aspects of Beastmaster that's always dandy to just have this hawk that can really hide, avoid any sentries, and give you that global vision. Oh, and she has the Force Staff, so now causing a bit of that danger. Not able to get the full kill, but some of that nice harassment on the Lion, but now things quickly turn around. The Lion Finger plus the Spear from Mars, deleting her from existence. And this Pugnut left at the distance as the spell cast goes away. Nice lasso onto the Monkey King, but he's too close to full, no one to help support him. So instead, caught exposed. A nice juke from the Void Spirit to bait them into the Mars Arena. Able to line them up, but now the Monkey King arena of his own, of the Wukong's command to punish. Doing a fantastic job avoiding the circle, stalling, not touching the Beastmaster. And just an interesting delay, trying to get the right clicks with the Enchantress, but it just isn't enough to finish them off. Feeling that'll change once she has that Dragon Lance, considering it gives her all that bonus attack speed and theoretically infinite range.
Yeah, and the net worth, it's still continuing to grow. The lead is still continuing to grow. But the big important thing, this Primal Beast, he has made a comeback. Now he's just barely trailing behind this Beastmaster, and he's only 200 behind this Monkey King. And this Primal Beast hero, he's very important to making their lineup go. It's this Primal Beast and this Bat Rider.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And the Primal Beast ult is normally so dandy. It's getting plenty of damage in to try to help block down this Enchantress, but still surprisingly not enough. Likely with the Lion Finger it would have been, but I think it's on cooldown for another 30-ish seconds. 30 right on the dot. There you go.
Can they get the Natures? No.
Certainly not. I mean, the Molotov bounce would have been annoying, but isn't a form of disable.
Nope.
As much as it feels like it does give that mini stun, all it does is the cute little bounce of movement. So would have still gotten away. And now the smoke coming for the Lion, understanding that that finger is getting off cooldown. Halfway towards that good old Blink Dagger.
There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
Most importantly, has that Tranquils to sustain any of that early damage provided by the Enchantress and regen it back up during a team fight. A nice pickoff on the Beastmaster, or at least it should be, but the Pugna, of course, with the save, and the Primal will be taken down by the Roar. The master of all beasts, dinosaurs included.
What is a dinosaur if not a beast?
Indeed, couldn't be any further from the truth. And seems like we won't have any exceptions to that just yet. Would be pretty ironic to have a Beastmaster lose to, well, a beast.
I'm sure it's happened. In the millions of games of Dota, in the millions of battles for the Ancient, I'm sure the Beastmaster has been bested.
Yeah, certainly. Although you can see this completely wild build, I just noticed it. Considering there's so much spell damage and not really a focus on any right click, we have an Enchantress at level 9 that has not put a single point into her ultimate to be, well, untouchable. Doesn't need it, not going to have any benefits. Able to take out the Lion, Mars, and without any of those ults or team fight.
No, good play by the Primal.
Fully blocking the vision. It's a nice creep wave cut. But they're going to get a little bit of revenge as this Pugna gets slammed on down. And as he tries to run out of there, we'll get slammed down, shut down by the Nether Trick. And in spite of all of Azerbaijan's efforts, able to successfully hold on pretty well to the 15-minute mark. Still, the towers and just the lockdown with the teamfight control for Bulgaria still favoring them.
Now we have a 3-man smoke play. They're gonna find BZM again. Oh man, he just got away. Pugna will happily trade his life for BZM to get away.
Happily does get tagged for a moment. The Blink Dagger should be enough for the save, but instead, the Nature's Prophet, having all that raw right click, able to get his buddy out of the lasso by killing the lasso E. But does come with a little bit of a catch, as now you have the line with the finger creeping on through. I don't think the Blink Dagger does yet need this Beastmaster to come in with the save. Beautiful 2-man roar. So suddenly all the creeps right click to finish off the line. Meanwhile, the lockdown from the Beast should be enough, but the Enchantress coming here to save the day and turn around the fight. So it's a 4K instead. Almost all of Azerbaijan completely deleted. And even a teleport directly onto the Mars. So he doesn't get away. That's a full successful team wipe. And you can see every single player in Bulgaria tipping that Nature's Prophet for that godlike teleport to get the 5th.
And now just letting it fester. Just letting it fester. Up 10K, 18 minutes into this game. Again, fully in control are the side of Bulgaria. They're going to try to finish this one early. Get an early break as they're, again, here's this fight. Just barely dodging that, dodging the spear is BZM. They get the kill onto the Pugna. But this is when things start to go awry. Little play up with the TPN, adding all the extra damage that they needed. BZM delayed his death for just long enough for the Beastmaster to start to make the rotation in. And when he does, that's when the fight truly goes pear-shaped for Azerbaijan.
And this is just going to be easily achieved. I mean, Azerbaijan had every single advantage. They kept getting these kills, trying to build in that lead. But the fact that the Pugna was picked off so early, he's able to respawn, participate back in this fight. The Enchantress gets so much of this raw damage. This Mars should have had everything to be able to get away, but the teleport position, being called out to a T, completely blind by the natures with the Gleipnir, able to give the stats and lockdown. And I mean, even before these changes to Universal Hero, this natures that we really haven't seen at all was already an insane right-click hero. So the fact he now has these universal stats, I imagine he's someone we're going to start seeing more in the future as this patch and the metas itself as a whole evolves.
Beastmaster starting the Roshan. Friends are going to start coming in, but the scan is going to detect it.
Quite a bit. So they'll have the information, but I don't think they can really do anything about it with the full helm of the Overlord. Got that about 10-15% buff from the neutral. Going to need that selected when we can. Yeah, Mage Slayer, considering that Azerbaijan relying mostly on the magic damage. That Mage Slayer is going to be quite problematic, especially considering that Monkey King had an Echo Saber, breaks it down to get the BKB instead. Cuts that magic damage from all of Azerbaijan in half. This nature's a bit of a surprise. The full right click will get harassed away, but this Lion doomed to die momentarily, getting completely blocked by all the saplings.
Now you're
Picking on out the Gleipnir with the Mage Slayer, devastating, and now the Bloodthorn coming in.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They lasted longer than last game.
Yeah,
That's a
they've
win
already
in
done
itself.
better than last game.
Dire's middle tower is falling.
But now, once again, everything being stolen away, and the success likely to be short-lived.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might be the only thing that they get to hang their hat on today, is that in game number 2, they at least made it a little bit more competitive, 18-19. But they've gotten out macroed. They've gotten outworked on the map, splitting it up, getting farm on the necessary cores, and I mean, you can see how far out ahead this Nature's Prophet is. 15k net worth. The next closest on the side of Azerbaijan is this Primal Beast at 9,000 net worth. That's a 6k net worth advantage, just right there. And I mean, it's even worse if you're going to compare core to core, carry to carry.
Which is the real challenge, but in line. Trying to really deal with this at the best that they can, which I really feel like isn't going to have that much of an impact as hard as they try. Monster kill streak now for this Nature's Prophet, 16k net worth, just able to, one of the few heroes with that global ability while also having the ability to jungle so strongly. And you can see it's an animal farm. A little bit PTSD of a few patches prior of where the animal aura macros were the strongest, but we're instead having both of them combined to completely decimate Iraq's at the 23 minutes, 20k net worth lead. Odds and opportunities for Azerbaijan running slim. A creative draft that gave them a nice early success, but a Nature's that just wasn't able to be shut down.
Yeah, man, this Nature's is bonkers. This Beastmaster has had another great game. This Enchantress has had a great game herself. The Pugna has come in clutch with saves whenever they were necessary. I mean, again, just Bulgaria, they're just playing another very clean game of Dota 2. They are absolutely in control. They decide when and where these fights take place. And there's really nothing that Azerbaijan can do at this current point in time other than sit back and take it. Unless they want to go for some sort of 5-man smoke desperation type play and go to Valhalla. But yeah, that seems to be about the two options. You wait in your base for them to inevitably come and kill you, or you try to go out on your shield, you go to Valhalla, and you're sad because you died and you lost.
Yeah, it certainly stings either way. But the Sting shall be their last play in this final team fight. But the Monkey King completely counters the Mars Circle, denies any impact to be able to successfully obtain the vision hidden away, but that doesn't matter. The damage, forcing the Batrider to go all the way back to base. Another smoke pop as they're completely ignoring just a single Rax. They'll just break the tier 4s directly, force all these buybacks, ignore them in the process, and just allow for the Beastmaster War to finally get a little bit of lockdown on this beast, able to escape back to spawn, but at what cost? As even with the accidental lockdown of the Monkey King, won't be enough to take him as he has those Jingu Mastery stacks to life steal his way back up. The GG forcefully called, 25 minutes, and Bulgaria a quick 2-0 against Azerbaijan.
Yeah, that was thorough.
Couldn't have done it any better. That was disgusting.
You like to see it from Azerbaijan. Good luck further, showing the good sportsmanship. Wishing them luck in TI qualifications as well. Okay, I will disconnect and reconnect.
And hopefully that will resolve that minor focus issue. Cameras, the real demon of it all. There's going to be a lot of demons haunting, I imagine, Azerbaijan if they were unable to even get the single game off, completely struggling and getting cut out. It was a fair attempt from them. I do like the adjustments and the creativity, but the Void Spirit really doomed them to not have that proper carry that could fight and respond to the Monkey King in turn. And this Nature's Prophet, Primal Beast, a creative response, but nowhere near the farming capabilities to keep up with him and getting quickly outscaled.
Yeah, I think both games were lost in the draft, and the way that they chose to field their drafts. But
yeah, at least the ideas and the potential in this second game, they really did win out and did their best. It looked competitive just until those very last 5 minutes that they were able to really swing things in their favor.
Yeah, and I mean that's a genuine theory, isn't it? Right? When like you know that in a normal 5-on-5 game of Dota, you should not be able to beat the opponent that you're playing against. So you make it not Dota anymore. You pick a bunch of weird heroes, you play a bunch of weird strats, you make them play a game that if they played it before, they've played it maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 times, as opposed to these games that they have played hundreds of thousands of times before. So like, that is a valid strategy. They tried to pull it off. Unfortunately, it did not work out for them. But I mean, you saw the potential, you saw the ideas, at least in this game number 2. You got to actually see some of their ideas come out and actually get to show themselves on the field of play. Unfortunately, game number 1, that really wasn't the case. But now we're gonna go ahead and throw it to the MVP. Is it gonna be BZM again? Is it gonna be... No, it's the Nature's Prophet. I figured it was low blood.
I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, normally in these dominant games, we'd have a pretty equal hero damage to net worth, but instead the hero damage doubling it almost. Solid 30k versus the 20k of the net worth. Amazing damage, even with the 2 pickoffs on him, still able to drop so much gold, create so much building damage, and allow for that space. And when you just stacked all these creeps just combined together, just creates so much damage that can't be resolved, because the magic damage is there and there's tons of it between the Primal Bees and everyone else, the Void Spirit, etc., but none of it gives this creep clear in the same way. And I'm pretty sure they banned the Naga themselves, so one of these few heroes that I would say would be able to deal with the creeps directly with that, you know, passive AoE magical cleave, instead completely removed and unable to be accessible by themselves to try to have some sort of response.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, games like this, series like this, I feel like they're the hardest to actually analyze and to summarize, because there just wasn't that much that happened. There just simply was not that much that happened. Bulgaria, they had good lanes. They played well on the map. They had good meta strategy. They extended their net worth lead. They took good fights. They extended their net worth lead. They choked out their opponent. They extended their net worth lead. They won the game. I mean, both games, they followed a very similar script, and they just simply were not that long. There weren't this many like game-defining, game-altering fights. It was just macro movement on the map that did them in.
Also, perfect execution of the Monkey King. Dropped his ult on every single Mars ulti, I'm pretty sure, for most of that game.
Yep.
Barely any struggles getting that connection and getting himself inside the pit to really cause those issues and deny that Mars to have any impact. That normally would be a pretty good response to a game like this, to be able to have that full shield bash that could clear those creeps ideally, but instead just unable to get running to much of anything.
Wowzers. Alrighty, well then, we are gonna have a 2-hour break. You heard that correct, a 2-hour break before we come back with the next match. Myself and Otto will be on the call for that. As yeah, hang out, guys. We will be back. It's gonna be a little while. Get up, stretch, you know, maybe take care of some chores for the day, and then come back, watch some more hot IESF Dota.